Hey, this is Lynn Graff, founder of Storytelling for Entrepreneurs, coming to you from the Story Shed. This year I want to talk about the South by Southwest Festival, one of Austin's gems. It's still one of the premier technology, creative, and culturally relevant conferences in the world. Every year there's about 75,000 attendees or more, and there's about 2,000 conference events that you can choose from for everybody that attends. And for the last 10 years, I've sat on the South by Southwest Interactive Advisory Board where I get to review PanelPicker and competition submissions. And every year I get asked, what is the best way to get your PanelPicker submission accepted to South by Southwest? And this year I had a client ask me that exact question, so I sent a list of 6 tips and topics and some links. And I ran that same list by Hugh Forrest, the director of South by Southwest Interactive, to make sure he got the double thumbs up, which he did. So I want to give you that list here today. And for context, here's some things you might find interesting as it pertains to the judging process. The South by Southwest staff gets weighted about 30% of your proposal. The general public is about 30% as well, and then us, the South by Southwest Advisory Board, is about 40% weighting of the judging perspective. In 2018, we had about 6,100 panels submitted, and you had about a 15 to 20% chance of getting accepted. As an advisor, I'm reviewing between 80 and 100 submissions each year in a 3-week window. So that means I got a lot of information to sift through in a short period of time. And I make sure and allocate a dedicated amount of time each year. Now, I don't have a target quota in terms of how many I'm looking for, but every year about 5 to 7 submissions rise to the top, and those are the ones that I recommend to them to being accepted. And it maps against what they want us to be looking for, and then also what I would find interesting and what I believe conference attendees will find interesting. So from all that, here are my top 6 tips to getting your panel submission accepted to South by Southwest this year. Number 1, start early. There is a lot of information that you need to fill out as it pertains to your submissions. You want to make sure and understand all those needs that are there, and you want to do it in a way that's really solid. And you want to proof it. South by Southwest puts on their list, proof it, proof it, proof it, and they really mean it. Number 2, make sure and read the instructions and the guidelines. Now this may sound just kind of basic and rudimentary, but you should see the criteria they give us really maps to the criteria that you're giving when you submit your panel, the instructions they give you. So read those instructions, fill out all the necessary information, and follow their guidelines in terms of what they're looking for. Number 3 is the title. You really want to work on that title exceptionally hard. And the reason being is when I'm reviewing 80 to 100 submissions, the first thing I'm going to look at is the title for the submission. Just like the general public, they're looking through their guide online or the physical, and they're trying to figure out which panel to go through. And the first thing they're going to see is that title. So make sure that your first impression is on point and grabs their attention. Number 4 is be concise. I would much rather review a compelling, short, and tight description versus a long and drawn out one. There's a ton of information we have to review, remember, and you don't necessarily need to fill out every single character that's given in every particular field. So be on point, get rid of the buzzwords, and make sure it's something short and compelling rather than just long and drawn out. Number 5, similar to the above, is be specific. It's better to hone in on something specific versus becoming general, because the more general it is, the more it starts sounding like those other 100 submissions. So you want to make sure and try and be unique and specific at the same time. And number 6, the most important, is standing out. I can't tell you how important this is, because every year when I'm dedicating my time, as does the staff and the general public, you're trying to look for something that's going to grab your attention, that's going to pop. And it's something that really speaks to people in terms of trends that are happening, technology opportunities, or just being super creative the way we look at things. So you really want to make sure that your particular submission grabs the attention of the audience, of me, the judge, or the staff, makes them want to understand what this is, and makes them want to go to it. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is people wanting to sign up for your particular panel submission opportunity. And there's a couple, I'll give you some example of 3 titles that stuck out last year that the description matched them. One was What AI Reveals About Our Place in the Universe. The second was The Secrets of Cult Brands. And number 3, When Programmers Are Asked to Do the Unethical. Notice how those titles are kind of provocative and thought-provoking. They may be like, oh, that's interesting, I think I should go check that out, or at least read it. So you want everything about your submission to be just like that. creative, provocative, and make you want to read more. All this said, my biggest recommendation is to think from the conference attendees' perspective. They have over 1,000 panels and keynotes and breakouts to choose from. What you want to do is you want to serve them versus trying to promote yourself or your offering. So in all of your decisions, let that be your North Star as you figure out what the title, the description, and all the key takeaways and everything else that goes as part of your application process. In the same way, if you're going to a conference, you want to pick something that's going to be interesting and beneficial to you. You want to do the same for folks that are looking at your particular panel submission. So good luck this year, and I hope to see you in Austin, and thanks for watching. Oh, and before I forget, one more thing that my friend Hugh Forrest, director of South by Southwest, suggested that we add to this particular list is you want to add a video to submission. In his words, a good video can put your application over the top when it comes to your submission. So create a 1 to 2 minute video that it concisely explains your particular topic, as well as explains to us why you deserve a spot in the 2020 South by Southwest conference lineup. Now that comes straight from the top, folks, so make sure and heed his advice. I'll see you in Austin in March.